It is a beautiful morning out west. So happy to be here for El Trafico. All I want are two things: lots of Galaxy goals and zero murders at Dignity Health Sports Park. Please, let's try and swing that, guys. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is April 9th, 2022. We've been doing videos for a month. Thank you to everybody who's been getting in on the ground floor. If you like the content we've been putting out, by all means, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. Feel free. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. Put this on your social media feeds, and by all means, comment. I'm not God. I don't know everything. Now, I like to be fair with LAFC supporters. The preview that I'm going to give, I hope, is, as they say on TV, fair and balanced. Tell me if it's not. It's all right. I'm cool. Before we get to El Trafico, though, let's talk about the other sports in LA, starting with the scoreboard. The Dodgers defeated Colorado 5-3, 5 runs in the fourth inning. They made it stand up. And the Lakers defeated Oklahoma City 120-101. No LeBron James, no playoff chances, nobody cares. Today, Galaxy LAFC at 4:30 at Dignity Health Sports Park. Sacramento plays the Clippers at 6:30, and oh, by the way, Dodgers will try to improve on 1-0. They play Colorado at 5. Notes we can get to, thank God there aren't too many that are of any importance at all. The Lakers waived Trevor Ariza. Again, nobody cares. The Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, he's not progressing in his recovery from a torn ACL. He's still only doing solo workouts, which matters, of course, if the Clippers make the playoffs. Clippers plus Paul George, pretty damn solid. Clippers with only Paul George, they're going to get bounced. Chargers sign a wide receiver named DeAndre Carter. Okay. The Rams, here's a weird note. Matthew Stafford has reportedly bought 2 LA homes from Drake. When asked why, he said, to get some better music up in this neighborhood. Now, the Galaxy, by the way, I mentioned earlier about Carlos Vela earlier in the week in a video about their attempting to re-sign him after his contract expires in June. Still no progress on that. The Galaxy have signed forward Preston Judd from Los Dos, their USL affiliate. Now, he's pretty good. He scored 16 goals for LA Galaxy too. But the question that I keep wondering is, I know he's not starting over Chicharito, but where does he play? There's all kinds of questions there because it makes you wonder about the other players playing forward. Does this mean, for example, that the injury to Douglas Costa is a little bit more pronounced than we were previously led to believe? You know, Kevin Cabral, he's not really all that popular right now. Does Judd possibly fill in for him? It's kind of unlikely. You don't want to dump a designated player that quickly. What about Samuel Grandsir or Javelajic? All possibilities. But you don't sign another forward when you already have 5 unless there's another move to be made, I would reckon. Let us get to the greatest rivalry in MLS. It's delicious. Either side you root for, you ought to be a little bit anxious and very excited about what's going on this afternoon. The game will start at about 4:30. You can catch the game on Fox if you're not going to the game itself. LAFC leading the Western Conference with a 4-0-1 record. The Galaxy 3-2 overall. It is a extremely evenly matched up series. I mean, the Galaxy, they do have a lead in the series. They have 5 wins. LAFC has 3 with 5 draws, but each team has also scored 29 goals against each other. So there's going to be a flood of offense, which we will get to by breaking it down a little more in a moment. Interesting note, though, there are going to be advanced security measures for today's game because in a couple of games, like there was 6 arrests in one game at Banc of California Stadium. And then the fall of last year, there was a brawl after the game. Only one person got arrested, but if you saw the clip, it made TMZ. It's a pretty good little fight, which I don't want any part of. I don't see soccer as a reason to go add a felony to your criminal record, guys. So we can't have that at Dignity Health Sports Park, right? There are certain things you just can't have. You can't have the chant, right? What we've talked about before, because that's an insult to Galaxy legend Robbie Rogers and just gay people in general. We don't need that. But you also can't have violence either, because this is not Liga MX. So if these measures mean that LAFC supporters have to get escorted into the stadium, say 45 minutes before the gates open, I have no problem with that. Because that's what's happened with Galaxy fans on the road. I joined the Angel City Brigade and the Riot Squad to watch them play in Texas, and we were escorted in Houston, literally a half mile south of the stadium, in this big circuitous route to get in. So it's not unprecedented. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Let's talk about the game itself. This is possibly only the third time we have seen Carlos Vela play Chicharito well, it's not technically one-on-one, but play against each other. They did it twice in Europe. This is the first time in El Trafico. This has a lot of people excited. Both players and both teams playing terrific soccer. Both Vela and Chicharito have 4 goals each. Vela does have a couple of assists, but each team has questions that we will try to address. But I must say one thing before we go further with addressing questions. The smack I've been reading on Twitter has pretty much been exceedingly weak. Maybe not. I mean, like, there was this one guy who was like clowning the Galaxy because the Galaxy asked their fans to show up and wear white. An LAFC supporter got loose with that. Yeah, really? You're going to clown the Galaxy fans for wearing white when this is how you guys showed up at a Galaxy game a couple of years ago, right? Military fatigues? Really? Let me tell you guys something at LAFC, okay? When CNN or MSNBC talk about people trying to invade the Capitol on January 6th, this is what they were talking about, all right? You shouldn't necessarily get in my face over deciding to wear my team's colors today, for Pete's sake. I just had to get that out of the way. I mean, look, LAFC fans, I get it. It's a rivalry. You want to take it seriously. So I don't want to clown you guys so much. But when your leader, one of your leaders of the 3252 demands that today's game is even more important than MLS Cup, dude, I haven't even filed my taxes yet. That's how early in the season it is. What are you talking about? I mean, I appreciate your passion. I really do. I don't have a problem with LAFC fans. If I was sharing a beer with them, we talk crap about each other, laugh it off, and go on about our day. I appreciate the passion. But I wish your waitress was that passionate when you ordered the 6th plate of street tacos, okay? It's one soccer game. It's fun. It's not life and death. All right. The Galaxy have more questions that they need to answer going into the game than LAFC. LAFC definitely knows what they're doing. They don't. I checked the injuries. There are no major injuries for LAFC. Their typical 4-3-3 is starting today. All right? The only question that I would have lineup-wise with LAFC is Carlos Vela going to play the whole 90? And odds are answer, no. Because he hasn't done it yet in 5 games this year. So that is something that could come up to creep and bite LAFC on the ass, just like a number of things have done during the El Trafico. Because normally they know exactly what their lineup is, they know exactly what they're trying to accomplish, and then LA Galaxy comes up and steals the game, right? Here are the questions that the LA Galaxy have to answer prior to the game. Number 1, where's Douglas Costa? It's a game time decision if he plays. When he plays for the Galaxy take on an attitude that I love, okay? He only has 1 goal this year. He has sat out a game. They knew when they signed him he was injury prone, and they think he's going to play, but they're not certain just yet. So that could theoretically hamper the offense. Now, if it turns out that Costa can't play, maybe you do wind up playing Preston Judd like we were talking about. Maybe you do put Samuel Grandsir in there. But having said that, not nearly as potent if Douglas Costa is not there. So that is an issue. The second issue, up in Portland last week, Mark Delgado got 2 yellows. That's a red. That means you get thrown out of that game, and you miss this one as well. This is key for the Galaxy. This is a problem that they have to solve. Why? Because LAFC always plays a 4-3-3, and they're constantly in attack mode. They don't know how to stop. They're like a shark. If a shark stops swimming, it sinks to the bottom of the ocean and dies. LAFC has to press the tempo. They don't know how to box it in. The Galaxy, I've always liked this formation, 4-2-3-1, because these 2 defensive midfielders will come back and play defense to help out the back 4. Okay? Now, last year, when their 2 defensive midfielders included, say, Dos Santos, who was getting up there in years, that you're asking these 2 defensive midfielders to cover a lot of ground. Having said that, when you would put Delgado in there with Rivalison, they have young legs, they could match, they could actually effectively limit the damage that the opposing offenses could make. So who do you put in there? Well, in my opinion, the first option that you have is probably, and this is just a guess, Sacha Kljestan. Here's the problem with Sacha Kljestan. He's in his mid-30s. You can't rely on him to go a whole 90. You just can't. So then you're talking about, oh, I don't know, maybe Saldana, the teenager, comes in towards the end. And so basically right now, if you look at it, you're asking Sacha Kljestan to limit what Carlos Vela can do. That's a big ask. Or LAFC could theoretically flip Rodriguez and Vela's coming down here against Araujo, who has been leaking like a sieve over the last 3 weeks. He didn't even play during the international break, and everybody thought he was going to be a starter for Mexico, and it didn't happen. So, LAFC has holes to exploit. However, the Galaxy always have holes to exploit against LAFC because LAFC plays such a high defensive line that all 11 players go down, and what happens? Well, the moment the Galaxy get the ball, they just lob it over, and away they go. Away goes Cabral, Chicharito, Alvarez, etc. It's called counterattack, and the Galaxy do it very well. And that's how they've been basically knocking the daylights out of LAFC in those 5 victories in El Trafico. So, let's all tie this together in a very nice bow. Prediction. A tie. Sorry. I think it's going to be a 2-2 tie. The reason I do is because honestly, I thought if Delgado didn't get those cards in Portland last week, I would be far more willing to take the Galaxy. The Galaxy have never lost El Trafico at Dignity Hill Sports Park. But this is, and I like Sacha Kljestan. I like him a lot. I think he's an all-time great in MLS. But having said that, that's a big ask to keep Carlos Vela from finding the back of the net. So I'm predicting a 2-2 tie. I'm predicting everybody's going to be frustrated, and I'm hopeful that nobody takes it out on each other in the parking lot. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, by all means, like, subscribe, and comment. And I mean that also from LAFC supporters. I do not individually hate, I don't hate LAFC guys. I like to poke fun at them, I don't hate you guys. I'm James. Thank you for watching. Faithful Angelenos is a Quian Corte El Queso production. Let's have some fun today.